Five, four, three, two, one.
Hey,
Oh,
we're here. We're here
we are here.
with our new branding.
I know. And so many great things to cover. We got billionaires going to space, hamburger joints, and what would you do if you could send a text to your past self? Just a few of the items that we're covering today
I'm
on
stoked.
episode 1.
Episode 1, man.
I know.
Numero uno.
Don't pretend like episode 0 wasn't part of it, even though it is kind of necessary for some of the things we're going to cover. But
It's true.
it's a historical event. How you feeling?
You know, I've never felt better when it comes to historical events, specifically ones that happened a week ago. Specifically this time last week.
Last week, yeah.
Do we want to talk about our name?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, this was absolutely a challenge. I think we had from the start. We had we had all the topics we wanted to cover. We had, I don't know, we had a pretty big wide range of like what we thought we would cover, and we didn't really have a way to like describe it in a title.
That's true. No, I'm honestly, I'm in love with the name now. I think we'll grow to like it more. I think adding the segments of predictions, very excited about, but yeah. Cool, man.
Well, let's kick it off. So we have we did this last week as well. We went to a couple of hypotheticals, and I think we ended with that. So what we're gonna do is kick it off with hypotheticals. So I'll start it with mine that I have for you, and I think we're gonna end with the one that you have for me. But I'll start it off with this. You have a one-word text message that you can send yourself at any point in your life. After you send it, you live with all of the consequences of sending that text immediately where you're at right now. Do you send one? If so, what do you send and to when?
Okay. Hold on. You know me. I gotta sit here and recap specifically all the constraints of this. So you're saying at any point in my life, between either now and the end of it, or does it include previous parts of my life where I could like change my timeline?
I don't know if I get your question. I think you're saying, can you send it at any previous point in your life?
Yeah. So
I'm
like,
saying you. Yeah.
I wish that 6 years ago I had sent a one-word text.
Oh, no. You're sending it right now you're going to receive a text from yourself, basically. And it has one word on it.
Okay, so
No, I don't know. I don't know if your past self is going to recognize that it was from you. I have no way. There's no way to say, like, you could say, say Josh, but you'd waste it.
Got it. So the gist is like, I could change my timeline. Like I could send a previous version of myself. Does that like immediately, like the paradox situation here, right? Like, does that change my entire timeline? If like,
yes, your current one.
Okay. So like I would send that text and then all of a sudden I get transformed to whatever the universe looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the text.
Understood. One word. Does it have to be like a Scrabble verified word, or can it be like one long bit of characters that just doesn't have a space?
No, it needs to be one word.
Oh man. You know, so my concern with scenarios like this is if you're given just kind of the general butterfly effect, right? I sent that and I have to understand what past version of myself would have to interpret that single word as. And off the top of my head, I can't think of a single word that I could ship to myself 10 years ago or some particular amount of time. Maybe, can I get it down to a very, very like finite time to where it's like, I know it's something that happened on a specific day at a specific time where I wish I would have changed something?
Yeah, so like assume assume that like if you can recall you're standing in line at the bank or something, and that's the when you want to do it. If you don't know the precise time, like assume that you could figure the precise time of that happening out.
Got it. Okay. I would
think
go
that's what
back
you're asking.
to, and I'd have to look at the specific graph, so I can't get you the exact date, but I know exactly what I would target, and that is right towards the end of March, when March of 2020 rather. Market was like at its absolute bottom. And I started to pick up options. I thought that stock options were a good idea. And I predicted the market to go the exact opposite direction that it went. So what I would do is at that particular time where I would look at like my previous order history, back in, when I used Robinhood. Don't use that anymore. It's not good. But I would figure out that specific time frame, and I would send myself a message and say calls instead of puts. I would just say calls. And I think a year ago myself would see that text message and potentially do something a little different. And I think
like
it would
see it as a sign.
Yeah, see it as a sign. It's just all caps calls. Meaning I think thought that for those that aren't, like, I'm not market savvy, don't get me wrong, but for those that are into options, calls mean you think the market's going to go up. I was betting it was going to go down after it had already gone down. And $9,000 later, I stopped doing market options.
And you're pretty confident that like your past self, like, I guess here's the real question then, like, if your current self got a text like this, you think you would make your decision differently based on that?
Absolutely, I do. If the timing was right, like I would look at the specific hour that the transaction happened, or that I was thinking about doing it, where it was like, let's throw 5K at this particular situation. If I would have gotten calls like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds before I hit the buy button, I would have probably changed my mind. Oh no, I lost you.
Back. I lost you as well. Still there?
Yes, I'm still there. You just came back up. We're good. It came up and said imaging webcam, so we're good.
We're getting hacked. We're getting hacked.
Is that the text message? Is that the message? Hold on. Is somebody telling us, like, whatever you do, don't. Like, there's a hypothetical that came true.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah. It's like stream end or no.
Will needs to leave the stream is what I took from that. All right. No, that was good. What about you?
I just know myself way too well, and I don't think I could. I would just think it was spam almost no matter what. And so the only thing, like, it would have to be something I think really, really recent, because I don't think I would want to like influence that much with the butterfly effect, even if I did it, and maybe it wouldn't affect anything at all. I'm not really sure. I don't think it would have a big effect, but I think I would like simplify mine to like a time where I ordered something off of like at a restaurant menu and like the meal wasn't that good, and I would just send myself.
That's what you'd use your one option on.
And like, I think it's the only thing that has any chance of actually changing things.
Okay, that's fair. But like, if that's now your time, so you would wait until you had like a bad meal and then you would use it.
Yes.
Okay. God, that's like the most boring use of time manipulation I've ever heard in my life.
It's the only one. And so like, and I agree with you, but like, it's the, like, knowing myself, there's no way that like I would I put way too much thought into like everything where I don't think I could influence myself with the one word text. So I think that's the only thing where I could actually like change things with it.
So you're saying like it'd be like steak tips. That's the text you'd send yourself 30 minutes prior when you got the salmon instead, and it was really gross.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I guess it just had to be steak.
Tips is, yeah. Because I hope steak tips is one word. I think it's two.
That's fair. Got it. Okay. All right. That was fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figured it was a good one to open with.
So we recently had a holiday. Name that holiday. Do you know what it was?
Martin Luther King Day.
Close.
No, that was like 3 months ago.
No, we had July 4th. And
July 4th.
So, do you have a good 4th, first of all?
Yeah, my dog was sick, so I didn't like get to do anything fun. He was just puking and pooping, so I
Why'd you
was
start by saying
monitoring.
yeah? You said yeah. I had a good fourth. My dog was very sick and I couldn't do anything. It was the best fourth I've ever had.
I mean, I didn't have to go anywhere, so that was a positive out of it.
Oh,
But
okay. Got it. Wow. Did you have
plans
fireworks?
didn't end up changing. No fireworks this year. That was like the downside. We pretty much do fireworks like at least in some form every year, and I didn't get to I got to see the neighborhood ones, which was cool. But
Did you do them last year? COVID?
yeah,
Yeah.
um, I don't remember.
No?
I think we did.
Yeah. I
Or at
think
least
like a lot of
I
places
think we
did
did a
it.
small thing.
So
Yeah.
something I learned, first of all, so recently moved to technically it's the South, but I don't know if it's really the South. But what I learned, my new location of living, is people around here love fireworks. Absolutely out of your mind firework lovers. That I didn't know. Granted, I grew up in Indiana. I grew up with fireworks. I used to love lighting them off. Used to hang out in the backyard. I used to put the little bombs inside of the mailbox and blow it up every July 4th, like you do, which was fun. But I thought it was maybe unique. I think we were the only ones in our not the only ones, but we were one of the few in the neighborhood that really went all out at the time. Here, so I went out with my pup July 4th. Thankfully, so he's a little pit bull, but thankfully he doesn't get scared with fireworks, or at least he hasn't yet. But we were outside Sunday night. Granted, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, everybody's shooting off fireworks, and it's probably just kids getting antsy, having all that ready to go. But Sunday, you couldn't look at a single location that didn't have fireworks in our entire neighborhood. And this is just a neighborhood. This is a suburbia. Not a lot going on. We're not in the middle of a big city or anything. Just everybody out on the street, just shooting off fireworks like crazy. And I didn't realize, like, I don't know how, I don't know, ingrained that is into suburbia activity or July 4th activity. And, like I said, I know fireworks and everything, but it was crazy. And then I learned that in Nashville, they set off 2 years worth of fireworks and had like a few 100,000 people show up for it, and they like had it shooting off multiple buildings all at the same time, to where it just looked like just constant fireworks going off. And I don't know. I thought it was.
These were carryover fireworks from the previous year.
Yeah, it was. I think they all worked. There was some drama from like the fire marshal and stuff about them setting off too many at once that weren't approved and things like that. But they still went through with it.
Do fireworks have an expiration date on them?
I think so. Honestly, I think it's the moisture. Growing up, we always learned, we knew, don't go to the outside fireworks places in the summer, because it's humid and the moisture in the air just gets to them, and they're like, they have 10%, 20% more defectiveness. I don't know what the actual numbers are or anything, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they have like a genuine shelf life if it's in a pallet wrapped up or in some way, like doesn't have moisture getting to it. I think it's fine. And I don't know anything about commercial fireworks, so maybe there's something special there. But
yeah, I don't either. That had to be kind of awesome though. Like, I feel like every year, whenever you go and see fireworks, you walk away thinking two things of like, oh, that was pretty awesome, or like, yeah, last year was better. Like those are right. Usually the two takeaways. I don't think there's much in between there. But
what do you
like? I feel like 2 years of fireworks though would be like, pretty spectacular event. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's some country music singer. Other people know. Sorry, I don't. But like invited people and knew that it was going to be some big, huge ordeal, and that's why so many people showed up. I had no idea. But I'm curious what you think the future of fireworks looks like around the globe, right? Like a lot of climate focus changes going on. A lot of, I don't know. If you're in the Southwest, if you're in Arizona, California, whatever, like you literally sneeze too hard and you start a forest fire. So pretty sure they don't have a lot of fireworks over there. And I'm curious what you think the future of fireworks around the world, or around the United States looks like.
Yeah, I think it's pretty ingrained in our culture at this point. I love fireworks. I would hate to see them like go away.
So you grew up around
But
them, like you did a whole,
yeah,
like it was always a thing.
absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like on the reservations and stuff, like you were always able to get them. But like within our county, I think there was a lot of restrictions. At least the one that I grew up in, the one that we're in now, surprisingly, there's like limited restrictions. I think this year there were a fair amount, but like the houses that I'm in are like much closer together than the one that I grew up in, and yeah, like I feel like if anything, it would have been the reverse, but. Yeah, I would hate to see them like go away. I also think that's like, I don't know. I, I always thought it was like almost kind of funny that like you could pretty much only get them like during the holiday times. Like I get that like that's when the demand would be up, but if I recall, like you can only like sell them like a day before, up until like a day after or something like that. Otherwise, you can't like really get them at all. Maybe you could probably get them online somewhere or a version of them online.
Oh, okay. We have places everywhere you go. There's a gas station
really?
that's constantly selling fireworks. Like
Like
there
year
are
round?
permanent billboards on the side of the road advertising fireworks at every like major gas station stop in the South/Midwest. So
And this is year round,
this
not
is year
just
round.
around.
These are permanent advertisements. Largest fireworks in the state. They're always at state lines. I don't know what that's about. Maybe they think that it's like illegal going from Indiana to Kentucky or from Kentucky and they're always at the border. But it's like there's one on either side of the border and they sell the exact same stuff. So like,
Yeah.
maybe it just makes people think like, oh, I'm out of my state. I can get access to the real big stuff, the stuff that, you can't get back in Indiana or back in Kentucky. When in reality, it's all the same shit. Like it's not, there's nothing fancy about it, but
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to go. Like, I can absolutely see it. Like, it does seem like it's gotten stricter, obviously, as time has gone by. But funny enough, like the restrictions we had 20 years ago in the neighborhood I grew up in were a lot more strict than like the ones that are in my current neighborhood now. And I'm like not that far away from the house I grew up in. I'm like 40 minutes away, so it's really not. I didn't like move states or anything.
Got it. Cool. What are your opinions on people taking videos and sharing on social media their fireworks?
Literally my least favorite thing.
I had a feeling you were opinionated. I mean, you're in the moment, right? Like you're sitting there you're sitting there in I don't know, you're a little drunk, you're a little tipsy, you're on Broadway downtown doing your thing, and people are shooting off these big huge fireworks and you just want to share it with your friends. Like I see the reason it happens. Don't get me wrong. And I'm also not advocating for it. I've never sat on somebody's Instagram story, watched their fireworks and gone, yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I'm there. This is a great experience. That being said, I understand why it happens.
I do too. Like, and it's just funny because like I'm not really like I'm not a social media person at all. I like most of the stuff that you're doing on there is to say like, hey, I'm doing this thing, right? And so like that's the part that I understand of like taking the videos of fireworks. But then when you really like objectively look at like what does it actually mean? Like you're showing people that you're watching fireworks, but you're not actually watching fireworks. You're watching yourself take a video of fireworks, and like I don't know, you miss out on it. So like it's just funny. I like to think that like somebody's bootlegging like fireworks. I'm like, oh yeah, I got the inside.
I got fireworks on the Pirate Bay. You don't see these things. These are Illinois fireworks. We don't get this shit in Indiana. That's exactly what it is.
It's just like, I don't know. It is funny, like somebody like taking a whole video of it, because I've seen that too, which is like legitimate. Like they're not doing it for social media. Like they have like a camera or something, and they're taking a full video, and that's like, what's the point? Like, at what point am I going back and watching that video and being like, yeah, I remember those fireworks. Those were cool. But you don't actually remember the fireworks because you just remember taking a video of the fireworks. So
I bet you people
makes no sense.
People might use videos for like desensitizing their dogs or something. You can see that for pets.
Yeah,
like,
I feel
talk
like
about torture. Every time I leave my dog, I put the firework video on for 4 hours. They have to listen to fireworks on repeat. Your dog's just like shaking and like scared shitless.
It's better to get a really good audio, which you're not going to get from just filming it from a phone or anything.
That's
like,
true.
The audio is the part that's going to jar anybody.
We got to hold the microphones up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I want high end audio of fireworks.
Well, and it's not even the recording of it too. Like you also have to have it be able to play back at a really loud, like with a really big boom. And I feel like you're gonna need like an IMAX theater, or like I think Disneyland does it on their Soarin' Over the World ride. I think they do fireworks in there.
Big old
They
subwoofer
kind
and
of
stuff.
replicate it. Yeah, they kind of replicate it a little bit, but yeah, it's just pointless.
It is.
I don't want to say that I hate every person that films fireworks, but I think less of them.
I hate the
compared to-
film that they make.
Yeah, I hate everything that they're about.
What I want to see the next time I'm at one of these border fireworks stores that are like also half gas stations, also half restaurants, and do like sell 30 other things. I want to see if they sell DVDs of fireworks. I think that's like the ultimate goal.
It's like the fireplace for your TV equivalent.
100%. And it's going to be
Yeah.
our new intro to This Time Last Week.
I mean, I think we should farm out the animation on it rather than get
No.
bootleg.
I want authentic firework action. No, it's okay.
filmed from a flip phone. I love it. Well, should we move on? Mm-hmm. I'm tired of fireworks,
I know you are.
and it's making me mad thinking of the people that film it.
Your friends and family. Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
I hate social media. The
Everybody.
guy streams to Twitch and YouTube. Go ahead.
Nintendo Switch. That's the next one. I don't know if you saw, but there's an update. You have a Switch, first off, right? But I don't think you ever play it.
I knew, like, of course you'd bring that up. Of course that'd be the first thing that you bring up. That is correct. I have a Switch. I paid money for one when they first came out, and then I didn't use it, and I still don't.
Correct.
And it
Okay,
just
good.
it sits on our mantle, hooked to the TV, and is never touched because
a nice like $300 ornament.
absolutely. We've played
Yeah.
Mario Kart a couple times. Like we'll set that up when friends are over. But almost every single time, here's my thing. So see, now I'm turning it into my topic. I'm sorry. My thing with console systems is I hate every single time I turn them on, they have an hour or more worth of updates to do. I'm sick of that. I don't need to
Yeah.
sit there. Like, I understand sometimes you're like, oh, well, we'll turn on our own and we'll update on our own. Like, if you can do that effectively, which I've never run into a console system or any type of system that does, then that's great. But every time I turn it on, we need to update the 37 other things. Oh, your online account, you need to update your password. You haven't changed that in a while. Oh, by the way, you need to pay for the online feature to be able to connect both controllers at once instead of just one controller. Or wait, no, you want to use 4 controllers and you want to use the little plastic thing to drive back and forth? Nope, sorry, you need a subscription for that, and you need to download an update. I know that that's not what actually happens, but that's what it feels like every single time I try to use the thing or any type of console. So I don't know.
No, I mean, like, that absolutely happens. Like, when I got the PlayStation 3, which that's the most recent PlayStation I own, I had to wait like 2 hours before I could do anything on it when we got the PlayStation. And then it seemed like every single time I turned it on, just to even watch like a movie or watch Netflix, there was always
Anything.
a system up. There was.
Oh,
like,
you want
there
to
was
connect to
an
the
update.
internet? No,
Yeah.
not today. Sorry. It's Tuesday, 3:45. We don't do internet until 5:30.
We have a 3-hour update that kills all the internet for everybody. Okay, so let's go off topic then, because this is I think this is a really good idea, but I want your opinion on it. So the issue with like buying a new console, right, is like there is always an update. There's like an inevitable update that has to happen when you buy it. What if like the systems were packaged in a way that like they had a flap, or they could like pop out or something like that, or maybe it was just kind of open that like the store could plug in power and like USB and get it updated within the box, so that way people could like buy the most updated systems and stores could upgrade their own systems to the most recent. I don't think like they could charge a premium for it, but I think that would be a nice like customer experience.
So you're just saying have a port available on the box where it just gets I would say over the air update, but that's incorrect. A wired update at a certain frequency where you're flashing all of your products as like a store to consistently keep them updated. So when someone buys it and takes it home, it's a smooth experience.
Yeah. more or less.
I hate it. I think it's dumb.
Cool. All right, we'll move on.
It sounds like it opens you up to a lot of exploits, because now you have the ability to have somebody else go and they can know how to access the thing. And what if they bootleg their own version of the same operating system, but now it like spoofs another account to where they can consume all your data or all your information as you go. Like it opens the door now to getting access digitally to like what's going on there, so somebody could come in and just plug in their little portable USB drive and offload whatever it is, because they know the way that that it works for the store, and it essentially can either brick the device or it could install some sort of hack or way to get your data.
So I think what you're saying is like we should just like not use the internet, because the internet opens doors for stuff like that as well. That's what I'm interpreting you're saying.
I wish you understood a little bit more about technology. So no. What I'm saying is if you have physical access to the device, let's say you work in a warehouse that sells all of these things, that gives you the access to do all of that. If you had 500 of those in front of you and one little USB drive that you plug into the device for 30 minutes and it does the update, and you go and you plug in the next one, plug in the next one, and you can create an experience that looks like it's an updated experience to the consumer of the product. They enter in their username, they enter in their password, they enter in their credit card information for that whole thing, and now you have their entire identity. You have everything that you need to get their data. The internet existing does not imply security breaches. There are plenty of security related factors. Don't get me wrong. The access to the internet and the access to all this stuff is like not good. Not necessarily not good, but it's not like foolproof. Anybody who wants to get into something can. But you're giving the physical capability of overriding the system. And
I mean, we could just assume that the system's being designed in a way that like if it's never booted up for the consumer, then like it has limited capabilities anyway. Like let's just assume they could design it that way, which I imagine they would.
Yeah, let's just assume it's a good idea. Let's just assume that everything makes sense and everybody should do it. Okay, assuming that, then yes, it sounds great. It's a great idea.
Then yes, like I want to call Xbox, call PlayStation. Let's get this going.
Also, like you're now exposing dirt and all of, like environmental factors now to the packaging, where like if you drop it or you do something, like you could damage it a little bit more easily, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, you could do a flap, throw a flap on there, so it's just a little pop out thing.
All right.
What you're trying to get at is like there are challenges that would need to be overcome.
Yeah,
in order to do this. I'm
trying to poke holes in your plan. I think it's dumb, and I'm just trying to think of all the reasons why. I already decided it was dumb.
Yeah. Well, I will make sure you're not part of the first million that I make on this great idea.
Okay.
The actual topic at hand.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me about the Switch.
There was a new Switch that was announced, and this was like after a pretty long awaited or long anticipated update, I guess, to the Switch, because it's not 4K, and Nintendo is like kind of notoriously never up to date, I guess, on like the latest tech. Like they just focus on great games, which is actually why I'm like a big Nintendo fan in general, and it's nostalgic, I think. But regardless, they created a new Switch. It's not 4K, but it has like an OLED screen on the actual Switch itself. It's a 7-inch screen, and then they had like a couple other smaller things, like there's a better kickstand on it, which is like if you're mobile, that's actually kind of a big deal. And then I think they added board memory. I think they doubled the memory, the default memory on it too. And it looks pretty slick. Like it got a nice little overhaul. It
actually looks different. It's not just all of these internal.
It looks similar. Like it's definitely the same. Like the controllers are white, and then the dock is also white instead of like the dark gray, and it has like rounded edges and stuff instead of kind of square and boxier. So it like looks
rounded
similar.
Edges, square and boxy, rounded. I'm telling you, dude, it's
back. Yeah,
it is like the
they
design.
went the Apple route.
Yeah, they'll go back and forth. It'll go square next time.
I mean, and it looks cool. Like, and it's an extra $50. And like the only thing is like it's pretty much geared towards mobile. Like I play my Switch docked. like 90% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
probably more than that. And it's really like, from what I could tell, it's like not super worth the price difference,
That's what I
which
was gonna
actually makes
ask,
me
yeah.
feel a little bit better because now I don't feel bad. Well, I have two Switches. My wife has one, and then I have one. And so it makes me feel a little better that like it didn't come out before we got ours. But
Got it.
I think like if I was buying one fresh, I would go to that one for sure. But it's definitely not worth, like, they're not going to like steal any people that already have Switches to go and buy it.
Yeah, no. I might buy 3. We'll see. You
Put
just
them on your mantle.
Yeah, you just have yours. You just like watch YouTube and stuff with yours, right?
No, I play games.
You don't use it as like a multimedia streaming device at all?
It only has Hulu and YouTube.
Like
Those are the only two
that's all they
things.
offer?
Mhm.
There's no Twitch, there's no Amazon Prime, there's no yikes.
At least not yet. Yeah, we use the we use the PS3 for that. Yeah, we have like 3 different systems. Like, I actually want to get a PS5 only because it's going to consolidate like the 3 or 4 different things that we have. Like the PS3 plays our Blu-rays. And then let's see, it also has like Vudu as well.
Yeah.
If we want to watch Disney Plus, we have to use the Fire Stick. And then I forget what the other one is that we like have to have as well. But I think we basically have 3 different things. And so like if we get a PS5, we'll be able to watch like discs, all the like Vudu, Hulu, YouTube.
Sure.
And then Disney Plus as well.
Got it. Okay. I used to take apart PS3s. I used to buy them on eBay for very cheap. I would just plug in, I would like figure out, I would like plug and play a bunch of parts cross functionally between the PS3s, and I would fix them up to make them work, and then I'd sell them back. And I made 0 money doing that. But I had a lot of fun, and I learned how the PS3, all the inner workings and everything about them, and it was a good time. I think I probably broke even mostly. What happened was
That's usually how those
eBay
go.
sellers like were kind of scammy. They're like, oh, we tried to power it up and it didn't work. We don't know what's wrong with it. Then you open it up and you could tell they like swapped like 60 different parts, and like they had already taken it for their own parts.
They're doing what you were doing.
They were doing
basically.
exactly what I was doing, and then just handing the bits over. And so when I went to sell them, I pretty much did the same thing, saying, oh yeah, it's I don't know, the disc doesn't work. I don't really know what's going on. It just won't power it up. It's my first.
So you ended up being like a broker for parts.
Yeah, and did the
for
exact
PS3
same,
parts?
like contributed to the problem as much as the problem was contributed to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't make the world a
It is
better
kind
place
of-
back then. I was a broke 16-year-old.
You know.
Like,
What can you do? Yeah, it's a nice learning opportunity though.
sure. All right. Speaking of wasting money on things, I wanted to bring up. Oh man, Quigley's going crazy over there, huh? I wanted to bring up a couple billionaires that are attempting to travel to space. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I'm one of them, right?
Yeah, you're one of 6. No, you're not. You're not one of them. You're not invited. You won't be going to space with us. But so Richard Branson, as well as Mr. Jeffrey P. Bezos, have decided, rather, kind of Jeff Bezos said, "Hey, I'm gonna quit the Amazon thing and I'm gonna go to space." And then Richard Branson saying, "Nope, he's not. We've been doing it faster and better, and so we're gonna do it faster and better than he did it, and I'm gonna go first." So we just kind of have this, I don't know, battle of the billionaires trying to go to space the quickest. What are your opinions on this?
Good for them, you know?
You think so?
I mean, sure, why not? Like who am I to even have an opinion on it in the first place? But
I mean,
I don't know. I think I love the fact that like space travel's privatized. I think that's legit.
Okay.
And I love the fact that like there's that the
Everybody
space
just left the stream. Everybody's gone. They've all left. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I think it's super cool that like the space race, so to speak, has like been privatized. Like I think that's really cool. And like I don't want to say that like that's That's how it should be. Like, I think there's benefits to it, on like dumping money into it. But yeah, I think I think that aspect of it is really, really neat. In terms of like, I don't know, them specifically wanting to go to space. I don't have the history on it. Like, I'm guessing they've done a lot of unmanned launches so far, right? Or is this like with them going onto it? Is this genuinely the first time that like they're putting humans on it? And
they were hammering the metal out. They had to put the rocket engines. They just ported it over from an old Saturn V rocket. Said let's get this baby into space. Here you go, Jeffy. Get going. No, there you go. They've practiced multiple times. I don't know as much about Virgin Galactic.
Manned ones though.
No, there have not been. This will be the first manned Blue Origin flight. I don't know about or personed rather, because there will be women on it too. And actually, there's a really cool bit to that that I'll get to in a second. But this will be the first set of trying to successfully get from a private company humans, not a private company, but from Blue Origin humans into space, because SpaceX has already done it with NASA astronauts to the ISS. But it's cool.
That's the part that's kind of neat, like of like them specifically going to space, because like, you know, they're putting their mouth where their money is, because their money was there first.
Yeah, that's fair. Gross. But also, so the one of the cool
where
things.
Do you keep your money? Sorry,
salad. No, so Bezos found. I don't know if this is probably mostly for publicity. So don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here shouting from the two rooftops that it's a great thing, but I think it is cool for this lady, and I forget her name, but she had attempted to trial to be an astronaut for her entire life. Was very, very interested, was one of the top of her class and everything, but at her time and during her time of trying to get to space and become an astronaut, she was told no, flying to space is for men and men only, and so you're not allowed. And so this woman will break John Glenn's record for the oldest individual in space of all time. When she gets to go up with him, he elected her and is, all expenses paid trip to go up into space with them, as well as the other person who a seat was auctioned to for $28 million to sit with good old Jeffy B and go into space in a big dildo rocket. And it's, first of all, it is the most phallic looking rocket of them all. I can pull it up on the screen share if you'd like, but actually we might get banned. But the gist is, I think it's cool he's inviting the lady, and part of that's definitely publicity, but the other part is like she gets to live her dream, and I think that's really neat. She's super excited about it. Like there was a little video he shared on Instagram that was kind of inspiring. And then
video, like low resolution or like short?
Yeah, no, a little video. It was it was a tiny little like 40 pixel by 60 pixel. It was real grainy,
like 3
but
pixels.
Yeah. No, it was a short video going through the details, and it was sweet, and I think it's kind of cool.
No, I think it's cool. Like, and I'm in the same boat of like, I don't know what like Virgin Galactic is like as well. I don't know where they're at, but I'm guessing that it's probably very, very similar circumstances as Blue Origin. And I don't know, were they genuinely trying to figure out who could go up to space first, or was it
was Jeff Bezos announced it, and
there's a lot of approvals.
Yeah, well, not really, because it's all privatized. Like that is kind of the annoying thing, is that now it's like just an ego battle of the billionaires, which I guess if that's the thing that gets humans to the next level of evolution, then okay, cool. But it's kind of sad that like that has to be the way that we do it. It would. I don't know. In my mind, this is more my opinion speaking here. I'd rather let's go out, let's explore, let's figure out what's out there as like a collective human effort, and a little bit less of a my billionaire rocket will go higher than your billionaire rocket type approach. Like I don't think like it does indirectly cause us to figure things out and evolve, but not for the right reasons. And for some reason that matters to me a lot. All the inspiration from NASA, all the things I got growing up, if I'm a kid right now and I'm being exposed to Jeff Bezos and billionaires sitting there dueling it out about whose rocket's bigger and goes higher. Like, I'm not as inspired by that. I'm inspired by, this collective human effort to get to the moon. And I understand that it was racing the Soviet Union. Don't get me wrong. There's some other context there. But I don't know. It's not going to be a worldwide moment. It's going to be just a moment for that billionaire. And unless something goes wrong, nobody's going to care in 3 weeks. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think context is definitely helpful, and I do think that, like, whether it's privatized or not, like, it's still like there's still competition involved in either scenario, and, like, frankly, it's probably better off in the long run. Maybe this is our one word text to the past could come into play, because, like, we could see the differences in outcomes maybe.
Yeah, sure.
But like, I think the competition is, like, part of what drives them to be as advanced as they are. Like even if it's not as, like, overall inspiring to you specifically, like, it's still kind of neat to see that, like, I don't know, that he is trying to beat him, like, into space by 12 days, and maybe that's what makes them iterate on it faster. Maybe that's what makes it better than one another as well. So I think the competition is, like, it's kind of a net gain versus the opposite, whereas everybody's kind of collectively, let's say they were all trying to work together for it. The fact is, people are working together for this anyway within their specific companies. So it's, while it might on the surface look like a battle of the billionaires, the people that, like, made it happen are still kind of working in that same manner that you described. You're
achieving the same end result, but in my mind, like, if I work for Virgin Galactic and I get told, hey, so all this work you've been doing for 10, 15 years to help make all this work, 2 weeks ago, some other billionaire decided that they were going to go to space, and your boss your very ego-oriented boss is saying, no, we're going to go faster, and we just need to expedite through the tests, and we need to make things better and take some risks and get ourselves into space because we need to do it faster than Jeff does it. And I don't know. I think that, like, I appreciate the competition.
I'd be like, hell yeah.
But, like, what? I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be frustrating as an employee. I mean, it would be cool. Like, yeah, let's expedite it. But it's like, why weren't we doing this beforehand? Why did it take another company deciding they wanted to do this for us to, like, I don't know, expedite this process or program? It just, I don't know. I see what you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
What you're saying is you don't want to go to space. You don't even like space in general. That's what I'm getting out of it.
I will literally burn your house down.
I'm kidding,
I would give anything to go on a rocket. Jeff, if you're listening, I am ready to go. I will sit with you, whatever you need. Put me on the rocket. Let's go. Not you, Richard Branson. I don't like you very much. And you're not even really going into space. You're going into the U.S. definition of space. You're not going to the what's the line? It's like the Harmon line. Is that right? Or the Kármán line. I think that's correct. Kármán line.
Soon to be the Branson line.
That's correct. The Kármán line is an attempt to define a boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. Kármán line is a little bit higher. So Jeff's rocket will go above the Kármán line, but Richard Branson's won't. Richard Branson's will be in between where the U.S. defines space to exist, which is 50 miles out of the atmosphere from the ground. And Jeff's will go, like, I think it's like 62 or something, which goes beyond the Kármán line. And then 50 miles plus will be Richard Branson's, which is technically space by the U.S. standards, but not by the Kármán line standards. All right. Sorry to get technical, but I just wanted to specify.
Well, there you go. And so the teams, we'll call them teams in this case. I know it's different companies. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe that's what they're going off of. Like, that's where their competition is actually at. Like, who cares about the date? You know, like, maybe they have other goals in mind.
That's a lie. They don't. They just want to beat each other to space, but it's fine.
So let's take the same example and apply it to, like, the NHL or something. What you would rather have is, rather than a bunch of teams in the NHL competing for the Stanley Cup, you would rather have all the teams on the same team competing for the Stanley Cup.
So here's the thing. People
practicing together.
But it's not the first time that hockey's ever been played. It's not the first. Like it's
Okay,
totally
let's
100% different.
dial it
No.
back.
Oh yeah.
Dial it back to.
Okay,
hockey
I'm not dialing
gameplay.
it back. I'm just like frustrated. Exploring an entirely new planet and bringing humans into space is not the same thing as hitting a puck into a goal more often in a 3-period time span than another group of people can. Those are very different things. Sorry, I'll dial it
Yeah.
back. I'll calm down.
No. When I said dial it back, I meant dial it back to when hockey was invented. Like pretend that hockey hasn't been invented yet.
Okay, yes. Let's like the competition for hockey invention. Shit, I don't know. Collectively, I'm sure a group of friends came together to figure out, oh, this would be a cool, fun game that we could play, that we could enjoy together. They weren't beating each other up on the first day they decided hockey was a thing. They were enjoying each other's company and having fun.
And then at some point, they brought the teams in. Once
shit got boring. Then it was like,
once it had been invented, then they brought the team aspect into
they
it.
brought the competition. They got the
People have already been to space, so now we're in the team phase, and so I think it's appropriate that we have a few different private companies.
I'm not advocating that space should be public and should be paid for by tax dollars. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the privatization of space and the things that it has done for like us as exploration, but it's also enabled a subset of individuals that have more money than is ever humanly imaginable to probably have a little bit more control over the future of humanity than they're entitled to. I know you disagree. I understand and I respect
I don't know if
it.
I disagree.
But
I mean, I think that it's I think it's better in the state now than where it was before. I think we will progress faster, which is cool. That's the part I'm with you there. I like the speed at which we're going. And like the thing that when was this? You'll know it. But whenever SpaceX launched, and I can't remember what it was, when I saw the dashboard of like what their spacecraft looked like, I was like, holy crap, this looks like it's actually in
Starship?
like the 21st century. Yeah. Well, this was last year, right? This was like last year in March.
Yeah.
I think. And it was awesome. I was like, holy crap, like look how much better this, like everything looks. Like the UI was amazing. And I was like,
that was when when the astronauts launched. Just kidding. Not Starship.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh yeah, I know. Their UI, their HUD and everything and what they interact with. Yeah.
1,000 times cooler.
You compare that to the space shuttle. You compare it.
It's just ridiculous. It's like gas powered. Like, it's ridiculous. The difference between them. And I have no idea what like the Blue Origin spacecraft looks like. I have no idea what the Virgin Galactic. I'm gonna guess they're in a very similar.
I'm not allowed to go into details.
Ballpark.
You know this about me personally, but I did sit in the Blue Origin little shuttle hatch that. Not the exact one. I don't think that Jeff will be sitting in, but I did get to experience that at a Blue Origin facility, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Super neat. Wasn't allowed to take pictures, so I can't share. But yeah, it's not you're not interacting with things. It's made for tourism. Right. It is a tourist. Right. There's not a UI in front of you. You're not an astronaut. I mean, technically, when you go up in there, you're an astronaut, but you're not a scientist. You're not trained for the event. You're literally just sitting in the seat, buckled down, looking up, and you have windows around you. That's it. It's boring. Okay.
Sounds like a blast.
We spent a lot of time on 3 topics.
Yeah. Let's go to burgers.
Let's talk about burgers. No? You know what? Yeah. Because what is better after a billionaire's trip to space? I'm sure good old Bezos will come down and say, you know what? I want a hamburger. And
Burger King.
Need to suggest. We need to suggest to him and to others out there what the top 3 hamburger. Are we sticking to hamburger? Is cheeseburgers okay? Because I don't think no. Okay.
Yeah, cheeseburger, meat and bun.
Yeah. Let's go top 3 each other. I want to know your top 3 so I can think of my top 3 cheeseburgers.
I know that's where I'm at too. So this is a local place to me, and I actually went there this weekend because there was only 5 of them or so in the Seattle area, and then they opened one that's a little further south, and it's Dick's Drive-In, and so they're similar to like an In-N-Out. And that they're like cheaper burgers, and they like operate off of like high volume of like the same type of burger over and over and over again. And I kind of like, as an overall experience, I really like it. I like, it's hard to say that like the burger tastes better than like a deluxe burger at like Red Robin even, you know, but they're like McDonald's sized burgers, but they're like higher quality, very similar to In-N-Out.
Sure.
So like that's one of them. I love the experience of Dick's Burgers. They have got like 4 burger
the
items.
experience of Dick's Burger.
It's amazing.
Can someone clip
it's my
that?
favorite thing.
Just the first part. Thanks.
I love the
Just send it
experience
to me.
of Dick's Burgers.
You're gonna regret that. Oh God. Okay.
That's like the
Okay.
That's
One
like the
is Dick's
joke.
Burgers.
Anytime you go to Dick's,
What's number 2?
everybody makes that joke. I really appreciate a smash burger.
Yeah, smash burger. I'm with you.
And
Have you done their
I'm
chicken?
trying to think of Smash Burger is the actual place. Like, there's other places that do. I haven't had their chicken before. Smash chicken, or you mean Smash Burgers?
Smash chicken. No, smash burgers, smashed grilled chicken.
Definitely haven't had it.
It's good.
I think the only time I've had Smash Burger is when I've traveled. I don't think we have them where I'm at. But I don't know if they're like my favorite Smash Burger. Like, there's other places that do it. Like Shake Shack does Smash Burgers as well. And I really like Shake Shack.
Is that your number 3?
Like, I don't think. Well, I think that's my number 2. I don't think Smash Burger is on my top 3. I think like a Smash Burger, the style of making that burger is
okay.
on
I thought
there.
you meant Smash Burger, the company.
It's close. Like it's really close between Smash Burger and Shake Shack. I'm gonna go Shake Shack though. I think they're a little better. And then number 3. Okay, so this was one that I went with a couple of my friends, and it was after seeing like a top burgers in the state or something like that. And so this one showed up. It's called John Howie Steak, and it's like a super nice restaurant in like a super nice city. And the burger, like, I think their like steak meals are, you know, in the hundreds of dollars or something, but they would do like a lunchtime burger, and it was like $17, so like not absurdly overpriced for the restaurant of the style. And it was like Angus beef, and I think there were like bits of tenderloin that were like ground with it, and like fantastic burger, but also like a really good experience, because like the restaurant is super cool. It like looks over the water and stuff, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I think it does, but that place is pretty good too. But like, this is like a big burger. This is very different than the last 2 I said.
Got it.
So there it is. Top 3. Dick's Drive-In, Shake Shack, John Howie Steak.
Okay.
You're next. What
I
you
know.
got?
So you're not gonna. So let me preface with this. I don't have hamburgers a lot. I don't. What I do.
Everybody just dropped off the stream.
I know.
Sorry.
Goodbye. Goodbye. No, every hamburgers that I have, it's like every 6 years of my life, I'll get into a fit where the only thing I want are hamburgers. The only thing I want are cheeseburgers. Like, and I'll spend like maybe 3 months, and then I'll go 6 more years, and I won't have a hamburger or cheeseburger for the entire time. And actually, it's probably been almost 10 years. I know that it's 6 years, but it's been a while since the last time I had that little fit. For me, it's convenience. And because it's convenience, it's going to frustrate you in terms of what my answers are. My first answer, my number 1, judge me. I get it. I understand. Like, you absolutely should. I judge me too. I fucking love McDonald's cheeseburgers. I love McDonald's cheeseburgers. They're convenient. They're easy. They're small. It's not necessarily like the best cheeseburger I've ever had in my life. But if somebody were to say you can only have one cheeseburger for the rest of your life, that would be the cheeseburger. Is a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Seriously?
It would be.
It's like number 1? Okay, so like, first off, I'm not judging you based on the fact that McDonald's is like a cheeseburger that you eat. Like, I eat those too. I get like the single cheeseburgers, the cheap ones, and I substitute like mac sauce on it, and like they're fantastic. Like, that's the way to go.
All right.
Top 3 though?
Number 1.
And you're saying
number 1.
Yeah, sorry. Number 1 is
Number 1.
McDonald's.
No question.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we'll just leave it at that. I don't even need to like comment.
I understand. Like I am frustrated in myself. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm authoritative source on cheeseburgers, but it's very good.
All right. Well, 2 and 3.
Number 2, this was in Vegas probably 3 months ago. Gordon Ramsay cheeseburger place. Fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal hamburger. I'll tell you this, though. I only had a little bit of leftover of somebody else's because I got a hot dog from there. I didn't get a hamburger. I went to Gordon Ramsay's cheeseburger place and I got a hot dog. Hot dog wasn't very good. I love hot dogs, man. So I don't know what it is. We should have a hot dog competition at some point, or the conversation. Maybe that's next week.
Might be the next one.
But yeah, don't worry. The cheeseburger, the hamburger at Gordon Ramsay's cheeseburger place or whatever it was super good.
I mean, if you had like 3 bites and it still made top 3, that must have been pretty good.
Yeah. Third, I'm with you on Shake Shack.
Shake Shack's good.
Solid burger. Their fries, cheese fries, super good too.
They do have good fries. Yeah, I didn't add fries. I kind of like getting fries, but I'm not like disappointed if I don't have fries with my burger. I don't know. They're just kind of like there, you know?
Yeah, it's filler.
I'm just like moving sauce into my mouth and then with the potato. Like that's really.
I have another really unpopular opinion with that is I am not a sauce person. I'll eat chicken nuggets, no sauce. Fries, no sauce, except cheese sometimes.
I'll eat it. I'll eat it without sauce, but I definitely prefer it with it.
Yeah, no, that's for me. It's like a preference. So goodbye, the other
Top
2
3
viewers on the stream.
So we found common ground is really what it came down to.
That's true, which is interesting.
Shake Shack. We've been to Shake Shack together too.
Yeah, I think actually my first experience at a Shake Shack was with you, Will.
Well, there you go.
It was great. We had to wait 3 hours in the middle of Seattle lunchtime. It was great.
Yeah, it's like 12:30. It's a terrible time to go.
Okay, I want to start talking small town news, but I do. I really like last week's or this time last week when we reviewed it. I loved it, and I would like to review it again this week. I want to see what you have for me.
Yeah, last week's was very, very good, and I'll be honest. Like I actually had a tough time. Like that was the bar was like trying to find something of like a town just like dedicated to swans, and so I had a tough time with this week's. But
we got it dedicated to what? Ducks, geese.
Yeah, I just started Googling animals that I thought would be funny, and then I worked off of that.
Animal news stories.
Yeah. No, go ahead if you can pull up the article that I had sent. So today's small town news comes from Rockford, Michigan. Population of 5,719 people in 2010. I think this is like a fifth of the size of the one from.
They need to update their census. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty soon. Like I think it'll be published. I don't know, at some point pretty soon because I think it was last year. But either way, Rockford, they are home to some notable folks such as Ginger Z, meteorologist for Good Morning America.
Wow,
Joe
I
Staley.
love Ginger Z.
It sounds like a great drink that you would get at a bar. No, Joe Staley, San Francisco 49ers left tackle.
Okay.
And then we have Brent Bookwalter, cyclist in the 2010 Tour de France.
Yeah, no, he came close that year, 2010. He was there.
I never.
No one has heard of him. Nobody. No one that will ever watch this video that will have ever heard of him. Sorry.
I was like excited. I was like, was there actually somebody that somebody's heard of? But either way, so our article comes from the Rockford Squire, which claims to be Rockford's free weekly newspaper since 1871.
All right.
That's the same year the Stegosaurus went extinct. Look it up. So like I said, I spent like a fair amount of time going through this, just the site overall for some like particularly funny articles. And there were some like mildly silly ones that were on there. I ended up getting like pretty invested in like how well the Rockford Rams just like kept winning week after week after week.
Okay.
So if you could scroll to page 8.
Page 8.
The article is titled "Rockford Baseball Takes District Championship."
You got into this, like you.
I did.
Like this is.
Oh, and we're not even halfway there. Like so, yeah, we're not halfway there yet.
All right.
So I'll summarize it. The article basically tells the tale of winning, breaking the curse. They even quote it.
Yeah.
and then they have the bait and switch of the century. So if you're familiar with newspapers, a lot of times what they do is they give you like the meat of the story, right? And then to like lock you in, and then they say, okay, the rest of the story is on a different page.
Sure. See page
which
10.
I thought was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that like this is already page 8, and
you gotta go 2 more.
And they're doing like what gives? Like
if I'm reeled into page 8, I'm not making it to 10. They know that. They did a study, and people just give up after page 8. They're like, let's reel them in with the baseball story.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Rockford. This is like a pretty well put together. Like they do this free weekly, like and it's like pretty solid.
I know this is like the full thing.
But either way, so the article itself, like it says the last line of it on that page, it says Rockford won this past Wednesday against Forest Hills.
Forest Hills Northern.
Regional semifinal 5-1. But scroll to page 10.
I will. While I scroll to page 10, can you check your microphone for me? It just like flipped to some other, I don't know, some other change. All right. Rockford won this past. Yeah, that's better. Rockford won this past Wednesday against Forest Hills Northern in regional semifinal 5-1. But you must do the Sudoku solution and look at our advertisement. All right, but unfortunately, lost in the regional final.
To the regional finals of Hudsonville.
Yikes!
Like what jerks, right? Like, so this is like I said, not the caliber of the Swan story.
Sure.
And like for this article, this is kind of it, but. I think the Rockford Squire, like they may have some interesting like headline tactics overall, but like it wasn't, particularly hilarious. So I looked through a lot of weeks. I spent a lot of time scouring the site for like the golden ticket article, and I noticed something that we desperately need to discuss here.
Okay.
And so if you could scroll up to page 1, if you would.
This feels like a
the article that's titled Rotary Club dedicates new little free library.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. And then so you'll notice the photo there.
Yep.
So I had to laugh at this article only just because just the picture with the ribbon cutting ceremony for this little librry.
Like we have these in our neighborhood. This would never make the news. We've got 2 people in their houses that have these in front that they just. Sorry.
Like they're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony for. So I thought that was funny. I thought it was just like this like little thing that they did, and I was like, okay, that's pretty clever. So click on the paper from the following week, which I think is in your next tab.
It is.
Page 1.
Okay.
Look at the top article there. We have another ribbon cutting ceremony. 2 photos, in fact.
All right.
For Jeep Ram.
Okay.
Of whatever that was.
Yep.
And then I went a couple of weeks back once again, which I believe is your next tab.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could scroll down, there it is right there. Page 1. Starts on page 1 and then scroll to page 11.
Scroll to page 11. Okay.
This is where the
article Seeley and Birch, page 11. Got it. They really, drew us in there. Page 12. This is page 11. Yeah.
There it is. And then there's the big
ribbon
scissors with the blue ribbon.
Yes.
May 20th, which is the next tab, if you would.
Oh man.
Page 12.
Okay, page 12. They didn't lure us in this time.
Yeah. Now this one, I was a little. I was on the fence if I wanted to bring this one up because I at this point I'm looking at
a ribbon.
Blue ribbon. But there's a blue ribbon again. Like it's not a ribbon cutting ceremony, but the blue ribbon is there again.
You're right. Okay, all right. Did you just?
I'm not done.
Okay, all right.
One more, Josh. May 13th, the next tab, please.
I got you.
Page 2. You guessed it.
We got
the blue ribbon cutting ceremony.
Oh my God.
Continue with your question, please.
So we're just like, first of all, props, honestly, that you're getting so intense into this that you're looking page over page, article over article. Let's connect some dots. Let's figure it out. Can we dive in further? How do we get a hold of the Rockford Squire and their obsession with blue ribbons, or is it the city?
That's what I'm trying to figure this out. So like, I'm not one for conspiracy theories by any means.
Something's going on. There's a blue ribbon monopoly going on in Rockford.
Yeah, I don't want to say this is like a thing of big ribbon. It might be big scissors. I don't know. Big scissors even, because they're usually big scissors.
It's true.
Already.
They're trying to cut the ribbon. Maybe there's something going on. It is big scissor.
It's big scissor. I don't know which one it is. So I have an open investigation right now. I will say that there's a couple of things that I looked at. I looked at like the titles of each article that had the photos in it. And I took like the first letter of each. I wanted to see if it was some sort of message. It's Carl, Carl, and then G are the words that we have. So I'm looking for Carl G's. I've got nothing there yet. There's no similarities between any of the photos in terms of the people. I looked to see if there was like the same people maybe in the background. Nothing there yet. So at this point, it is an open investigation. I'm highly skeptical. But I think it's fair to say that Rockford is blue ribbon city.
Like where? So I understand the ribbons. Like you could find ribbons. You go to a local Hobby Lobby, you can get a thick boy ribbon for this type of activity. Where do they sell those scissors? Where are they getting all of these? Are they sharing, do you think, a singular subset of scissors that get passed around? Maybe not subset. Maybe it's just like a set of scissors that get passed around for each ribbon cutting ceremony? Or are they procuring multiple sets of scissors from Big Scissor for...
I'm telling you, it's Big Scissor behind it all.
Oh, my God.
It has to be. What else could it be?
I don't know. We need to get to the bottom of it.
Theory.
Do they have a commenting? Can we comment?
I believe they do. So if you scroll,
hold on. Let's do the most recent one, because then we can reference.
Which came out today. So here's what I was really excited about, because like I was doing this research the last couple of days, and I knew a new article was coming out today, and I was gonna lose my mind if there was a ribbon cutting ceremony in there, and there wasn't.
We have contact. The comments, I think, are just sending them an email.
I say, okay, yeah. I say we can absolutely send them one.
Let's send them an email.
Should we figure out what we're gonna send them right now?
Can I send them a brief email to let them know that we'll get in contact, or that we've discovered something from Big Scissor,
and then send them the results?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let me pull this off screen just to make sure it doesn't go to my regular account, and then I'm gonna go to our new. This is a good advertisement as well. You can reach us at the This Time Last Week podcast at gmail.com. This Time Last Week podcast at gmail.com. If you have any suggestions or ideas, or if
you know who's behind this,
or if you know who's behind this, if you have details, let's do it.
Please send it. You can send it anonymously. You can call Josh's cell phone, which I'll give.
Don't do that.
I'll show on the screen right now.
Don't do that. But we can send it real quick. Squire proof. Copy email address. Ribbon. Conspiracy. Hey, folks.
I did
notice
collect all of the images. I can send you all the images if you would like.
With a friend recently on our local podcast that they're somewhat of a conspiracy going on with your news, as well as your... Was this a city?
Rockford is the city.
City of Rockford.
It's probably a town. I don't know.
We noticed multiple weeks, week after week, of ribbon cutting.
Blue ribbon.
Blue ribbon. You're right. Blue. Let me also zoom in here. There we go. A blue ribbon cutting. And we're curious if Big Scissor is behind the activity. What else should I put in here? Oh, I need to capitalize Big Scissor, otherwise Big Scissor will come after me.
It'll go through their filters in there, yeah.
Let me link them each. Oops. I'll link them each. I don't mind.
You can let them know that we are going to research more on our end. I plan to, at the very least. And I would love to publish an article about it in a future newsletter in the Rockford Squire.
So how should I close this out?
We would like to volunteer.
Okay. We would like to volunteer
to write an article capturing the investigation thus far. Let us know if you're interested in this topic for a potential future article in the Rockford Squire.
I love a Squire. Nobody does.
And there's a D
at
the end of it.
All right. Hey, folks. Noticed with a friend recently on our local podcast, there's somewhat of a conspiracy going on with your news as well as your city of Rockford. We noticed multiple weeks, week after week, of blue ribbon cutting, and we're curious if Big Scissor is behind that activity. We'd like to volunteer to write an article capturing the investigation so far, with your and Big Scissor's approval, of course. Let us know if you're interested in this topic for a future article in the Rockford Squire. Articles in question.
And to be clear, there are more because there is a search, and there was a couple of other ones that were on there. They just weren't recent. So
week podcast. Love it.
There it is. So ship it out.
It's bothering me a whole lot that the font here is different sizes.
I love it. You know, it lets them know that it's yours truly.
Boom, gone. It's sent. I love it. That was great. It was a great set of articles there. Good topic, honestly.
Thank you.
Nice
you know,
find.
It's a tough one. It's not easy by any means, but and while it didn't have the humor of last week's, I think we uncovered something.
Honestly, I want to follow up. I want to this time last week, next week of what we learned.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we should absolutely update. Okay. I know we're over. I know we had a why is this podcast an hour and a half long complaints, but the more I do this, the more I want to stick to an hour and a half. I love it. I have a hypothetical for you. I had one originally, but honestly, it's a little too close to the timeline thing that we went over previously. So I've got a new one. Spur of the moment, brand new hypothetical for you. Here we go. You have the ability to have not a free, but to not have to pay for anything car related or a new car ever again for the rest of your life. You can have whatever car you want, whenever you want. It is yours to have. You don't pay insurance. You don't pay gas. You don't pay for anything that is related to having or owning the car. No title, no registration, none of that garbage. It's all taken care of. So anything related to the vehicle and traveling in it, whatever. You get a Bugatti, it's all yours. The stipulation is, though, for any vehicle you ever get in, ever for the rest of your life, in order to start it, you have to do a running start with the vehicle. You have to put it in neutral, and you have to get it up to speed so that the vehicle will start as though, like the Flintstone style of making it go, get up to speed and get it to start. Once it's started, it's fine. But you can't leave it on. Like, it can't just be permanently on. You need, you need gas. You can't just do an electrical vehicle, no matter what, to get it. Like, you have to get it up to whatever the normal speed is for being able to start a car, like a typical internal combustion engine vehial.
What is that speed? Like, I have no idea.
I think it's like probably 5 to 10 miles an hour or something like that.
So I have to, every vehicle from here on out, I have to figure out how to get it up to, let's just say 5 miles.
So you have to plan it, right? Like, you have to park at the top of a hill. If you want to park, you never want to be stuck at the bottom of a hill or the bottom of something, because you'll be stuck there forever unless you have some really strong friends.
I can use friends for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I
You could
can-
use friends.
yeah.
You could even
I
get
can
a
use
tow.
whatever.
You could have
Yeah.
You could have a friend tow you to get you up to speed. But it just the vehicle that you're driving has to get up to that speed for it to start.
And this is challenging because my thought was like, okay, well, I'll get a dedicated tow truck that can help me with this, but I would have to drive it, and so I would have to do it with the tow truck. Too,
Yeah,
so
as well as with a
defeats the
friend.
purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought of this. You thought of this one good. Okay. This is
I thought of this one in about 80 seconds. Go ahead.
this is not something I don't think I would do.
Really?
I don't think so. Like that is the biggest inconvenience, I think. Like I don't like cars enough to where this is like a benefit to me. Like there's no way. Like the thing is, like I picture like having the coolest car or whatever, I come out of a really nice restaurant and I'm walking up to the car and there's people around, they're like, oh man, sweet car. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And then I put it in neutral and I'm like trying to push it.
Like, hey man, you need a hand? You're like, no, this is how it works.
Like, so I'm gonna guess that's kind of the benefit out of this for the typical person is that you get to drive a super, super cool car.
Yep.
And that's not a benefit for me. Like that's completely squashed because of the fact that I have to do that. So I think the answer is no. Is your answer different?
It might be. It might be different in that. Oh man, it is very tough. Like I'm still conflicted. I asked Tori this earlier because it was just me thinking of it, and she said she'd absolutely take it. She 100% would.
She would.
Yeah.
Got it. And so like even, and this is under every circumstance. So
Yep.
you're assuming from here on out you have to plan.
You essentially have to park at the top of a hill no matter what, wherever you park, if you want to make it easy on yourself, or at least somewhere flat. You never want to be able to give yourself like an uphill requirement to start the vehicle.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
I still think I'd do it to be able to try whatever car I want at any time, not have to pay anything related to it. I don't know.
That's
Like,
the thing,
think of how
like-
much you're going to spend on vehicle stuff for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but like the
It's a
thing
lot.
is, you can get to a point though where like you can work your way into a spot where like you can effectively do that anyway, right? Like whereas here you can't go back at any point. You've reduced your options for eternity, and so like I'm somebody that likes to have that.
You're thinking
as an
you're
option.
going
So,
you're
like,
going to work yourself to a way that you don't have to pay for anything car related ever again for the rest of your life?
I'm saying that's an option. Whereas if
How?
I go this alternate route, because if I get a lot of money or something, if I win a lottery, or if maybe I
Still have
save
to
a
pay
lot
for
of money,
cars.
what I'm saying is there's a point where the price of the car isn't going to matter, because if I had enough money, like what's even $500,000? You know what I mean? Like if that's what I'm going to spend.
The option is not you're either a billionaire or you have to go and do this. It's your life. Like
I'm saying, okay, so let me make my point in a different way then. I take the deal, and then tomorrow I become a billionaire, and now I'm like, oh my god, why did I do this? Because
tomorrow you go
now I have to-
bankrupt. Tomorrow there's a bank error not in your favor, and you are immediately bankrupt. Now you have a vehicle. You have a method of
It's
transportation.
not a
You could do whatever
benefit to me.
but you could get a camper, right? You could do an RV. You could choose any vehicle that you want. I don't know how you're going to push an RV to start it, but you get access to the RV, and maybe it just sits there. Maybe it's your mobile home, and that's like your vehicle that you get access to. Like, there's something there.
If I go bankrupt tomorrow, that's of my own like poor decisions. So I'm confident.
No, I said
like-
bank error, not in your favor.
Okay.
Whatever
We're
reason,
fine.
your
Either
social
way.
security number gets stolen. Somebody took out $1 million loan in your name. You can't pay it back. You have
Then
a
I'm
backup
going
plan.
to-
Your backup
I'm
plan
going-
is infinite vehicles at your disposal.
That's a terrible backup plan. Like my
I'm
backup
just saying
plan
it's
would
it's it, like the inverse could be true. You're assuming like, oh, tomorrow all of a sudden I'm a millionaire and I can afford cars. Well, of course, like that's the essence of the hypothetical. But tomorrow,
I'm saying if like the options that I have, so even if tomorrow does go the way that you're describing, I could still take different actions to combat that.
Yes. I guess.
In which case, I would.
Okay. All right.
There's
that's fine.
worse things going on.
I
in
was
my life.
convinced you were going to say yes, and then I was going to
Oh, God,
berate
no.
you for saying yes, and I was going to tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. So I didn't come as prepared with all the reasons you should. So
yeah, like anytime where it's like I have to do something for the rest of my life that limits the options, like it's like it depends on what it is. I'm not going to say I'm always going to choose one or the other, but like options
all right, that's my new goal.
Typically, options is typically more like I don't know, attractive to me than limited options.
Yeah. So when it comes to options, all I have to say is calls.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's
calls.
That's the answer to your options.
And then I'll know exactly what to do.
All right. Speaking of financial related decisions that are awful, this time last week, our actual purpose of the podcast here, we had
I'm disappointed.
I know, and you should be, because you were wrong and I was right. We predicted what the AMC stock price was going to be this week. Last week at this time, or rather this time last week, the AMC stock price was $54.22. What was your prediction last week for the AMC stock price this week at this time?
My prediction was $61.61.
Would you say you're biased in that prediction?
I mean, yeah, like at least
As a
little
stockholder?
bit. As a stockholder, I'm probably a little bit biased.
Okay.
But like, so yeah, I think what you're asking is like, was it a little bit wishful thinking? Maybe.
Yeah.
It might have been a little bit.
I mean, granted, it's not
that
like
all
your
said-
life savings. It's not like
No.
you're not going to be able to afford cars from now on if
Right.
it
Yeah.
goes down. But maybe.
Correct.
Who knows?
I mean, if it got to 61.61, now we're getting closer.
Yeah, that's true. And
Your
then
prediction.
my prediction was 54.22. I thought it was going to be as flat as possible. And actually, there is an option strategy for that, which we won't ever get into in this podcast because it's very complicated. But it was 54.22. It was the exact. That's not what it was. My prediction was 54.22, the exact that it was this time last week. It actually landed at 47.94. I was off by, what is that, $6.26, something like that. I was a little north of that. And
I was off by $1.
And you were off by much more than that. So I think I won. I think we need like a badge or like a belt. I want to wear
We need a belt
this
and,
time
like, a
last week
scorecard.
belt. Yeah. Let's get a scorecard going, especially because I'm winning. I want the belt now.
You got the first official this time last week point. So like that's
Yeah, I
like,
mean
you
that
will-
lives
you
on.
hold that over me forever.
Yeah.
That's
Who has been right the most? It's me. That's
Like,
my takeaway.
the thing
Podcast
is, like,
over.
even if
No more
let's say that I win
episodes.
every
I
single one,
was always right in every one.
like even if I win every one from here on out, you still get to be like, well, I got the first one, which
Yeah.
is potentially the most important. And
If
I will
people
never be able to
stop
change that.
watching at episode 1, like they likely will, they will take away that I am the ultimate winner here, and that's what matters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, I concede. What can I say? I was incorrect, and I'm still hopeful that it'll continue to drive up to the guess that I had.
Got it.
Well, let's figure out this time next week predictions. This time last week we spoke about the Black Widow movie.
We did.
That comes out. I think it's officially tonight. Like I think it comes out at midnight, which I guess is officially tomorrow.
You're gonna watch?
But,
You're gonna sit and watch it? You gonna stay up?
Not tonight. We're gonna watch it tomorrow. We'll have a few people come over.
Oh, that's
tomorrow.
right, because you got the money saving thing.
That's right.
Yep.
So what we're going to predict is the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. I think there's already the critics score, and I want to say it was somewhere in the 80s. I don't remember what it is offhand, but we are going to predict the audience score, and I believe it'll be available by this time next week. So either way, let's figure out separately first. We shouldn't make our decisions based on each other's guess. So once you've locked in your answer, we'll mention it. I think I've already got mine though.
Ours, is it decimal, or are we rounding?
I wasn't planning to do decimal. Do they do decimals on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. I think that would be confusing
Yeah.
for who cares if 0.5 versus not. Okay.
Let's say this: if we say the same answer, we have to figure out a tiebreaker somehow. Since you've won the most amount, you get to keep yours, and I
just
have
win.
to change mine.
Yeah.
No, you just win no matter
If you
what.
choose the same as me, it's a default that I win.
No, it's not. You
That's
get
a
to keep
permanent
your
rule
answer, but I
too.
have to
That doesn't
mine.
change.
Let's just make it every guess you win no matter what from here on out.
All right, I have
that's-
written my number down on a
I have my
notebook.
number. Mine's on. I'm gonna put mine directly on where we're tracking this.
Oh, you think it's gonna be that high? No, man.
All right. My answer was 92%.
My answer, also ending in a digit of 2, was 72%.
Dang, you think it's gonna do very, very poorly?
Okay, 72% for an audience score is not very, very poorly. I think. So how did Wonder Woman, the most recent one, do?
I think
People
really
didn't like
bad,
it, right?
But
Yeah.
it was really bad though. The first one was super good, and I think that was in the mid 90s, maybe high 90s. I don't.
Yeah, no,
remember.
the first one was amazing.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Gal Gadot. Don't tell Tori. In the first one, but not enough to watch the second one. Never saw it.
The second one's awful. Just skip it.
I know. That's what I
don't
learned.
watch it. Yeah. This is the first of the Black Widow movies, though, right? Like it'll probably the only, I'm guessing. So I guess maybe this is the same thing. Maybe I'm like going into wishful thinking here. Is like I want it to be good, So
92% is very high. You think it'll be higher because people are just like they haven't seen one in a bit, like Marvel?
I think so.
Yeah.
What
What was the last Marvel release?
Oh man, I think it was Spider-Man: Homecoming or Far From Home, and that was like end of 2019, I believe.
Did Marvel do the animated one?
They are doing a series on Disney Plus, and that's coming out. They actually just had the trailer for that today, and that comes out.
I'm talking like the real popular Spider-Man animated one. I watched that one.
Oh, yeah, that's not like part of these movies, or at least not yet.
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
that
it's
one
not
was called
The Kid.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that was good. I like
It was good. It was cool. That was a neat looking movie.
Okay, 92%, 72%.
Locked
in. I love it. We have one more though that we want to set up.
Oh man. Okay.
Do we want to wait, or
we
do you want to do 2?
No, we're doing 2.
Okay.
I think is necessary. So this is the topic that we had earlier of the billionaires going to space.
Yep.
So we have this is like the second one of today, and this is also a 2-parter. So we need to figure out both of these separately. The question is, will either one of these space travels be delayed? Should we specify, does delayed mean like by 30 minutes, or does delayed mean by like a minimum of a day?
I say a day, like the next calendar day. I mean, if it was supposed to go at 8 p.m. and it goes at midnight, then that still counts. It doesn't have to be 24 hours later, but if it's the next calendar day, local time to the launch, then it's gonna be like at 11:50, and they're gonna push it 10 minutes. It's gonna technically count. We should probably look into that. Do you want to go first, or do you want us to write this down?
I already have both of my answers.
Okay. Then that means I should come up with mine and say them out first. And we're like we have 4 different possible options. They're both fine. One of them doesn't, or the other one doesn't, or they're both delayed.
Correct.
Okay. I think Branson's will be delayed. I will caveat that too with a little asterisk as well. Branson's will be delayed, but it will still beat Bezos's up. Bezos's will happen on time.
I believe both will happen on time. No delays.
Got it. We initially talked about whether we were going to talk about predicting catastrophic events. Maybe it's a little too morbid, but
So we won't
a little
plug
morbid.
morbid. I'm gonna I mean, like, I wish the best for everybody. Everybody involved.
For sure. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely want it to go very positively. Like there's.
But we also want to
exciting
win,
moment.
like in the predictions. So like, there's a trade-off.
Okay,
All right.
does a catastrophic failure count as a delay? Can we at least specify that?
Ooh, Yeah, they have to make it to like they have to make it to their destination, I think.
Okay, so
Oh man. No. You know what? If they lift off,
if they lift
then
off, so if they get
they're
10,
not delayed.
10 feet off of the launch pad,
Yeah.
then it
Because like
Even-
that's not a delay, right? Like
Okay.
like everything up to that point told them we were good to go. So that's where like I think it's not a delay. Now, then that would become a question of like, should it have been delayed? In which case, if that happens, the answer would be yes, it should have.
Okay. All right, we locked it in. Branson delayed, Bezos on time. Will said both on time. Stipulation is doesn't matter as long as they get off the ground, and a delay means at least the next calendar day.
I love it.
I love it. It's good.
All right.
We're an hour and a half
Well-
in. With the time is the exact same as last time, and I
it's
don't
kind of
know.
incredible.
I don't know what to do about it.
It's almost like we planned it.
But we need to map out some closing compliments rather.
Compliments, yeah.
As per our tenets.
Yeah, we do this just because, we disagree over the course of this entire podcast, but at the end of the day, it's nice to recognize the accomplishments of one another and, show that appreciation here. So closing compliments. I led last time. Would you like to lead this time?
I would love to lead this time. And it's I eventually want to be able to find a compliment for you that's not related to what's happening in the podcast, but I just can't. I'm sorry. This is a backhanded compliment. I'm sorry. But all of the work that you've done in terms of the layout here, the art, the this time last week, the helping with the name, the putting that together, the colors and everything, our viewer, probably doesn't see that happening in the background, but Will has worked exceptionally hard. And honestly, I couldn't be more impressed with somebody who jumped in on this and just decided to take it, run with it, put together graphics, reach out to their friends to help make music, which hopefully we'll have in the next run, and help put this together. And I think you've done an amazing job. Excited what the future has in store for me, you, and our one viewer, which is probably Tori.
Yeah. I appreciate it. No, it's been fun. This is like something I've wanted to do as like some form of a podcast anyway. So like, it's good to go at least
You said
a
it
little
last
bit
time
all
too.
in.
I remember you saying that
Not all
exact
in, but-
thing this time last week. How many times can we call back to the name?
We're living up to the name. I think we can do it. I think the more we do it, the more viewers we would get.
Right. Hopefully. Maybe. We can't get less.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. My closing compliment is also going to be related to
gotta
something
think of
specifically
good
in here.
ones. Shit.
We'll get there, but like at the end of the day, it is what it is. I am I'm like super impressed by the fact that like you could speak to a lot of the topics that we have outlined in depth as you can. I feel like for myself that doesn't come naturally, and so anytime like I go into these things, like I feel like I have to spend like a lot of time before I'm even like a quarter of the way comfortable with it. And like I really wish I had that like kind of natural ability to like just like retain the information and bring it back to the surface here. So
The trick
this
is
it's-
falling
it's a-
asleep to YouTube every night and it just consuming it.
It's a compliment, and it's also like a bit of jealousy, I think, overall, because I wish I had that skill.
So I can tell you that it comes with trade-offs. The majority of which are like being able to see the obvious things that are right in front of my face at all times. Terrible at it. Somebody could be just very clear about what they want, and I just won't even understand what's going on. But just retaining only the things we're passionate about. If it's about something that I'm not at all, I won't retain it. I'm not a good memorizer. I'm just a good really into the thing, really passionate about it, then I can speak to it. But thanks. I appreciate
Definitely makes it easier.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, should we talk about kind of our 1 week hiatus here?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Disney World.
Your
next
first time?
week. First time to Disney World. We're pretty excited. So there will be a 1 week break. We're trying to figure out what like content wise looks like. The high likelihood is that we probably won't do anything. But with all of that said, we will definitely touch back on the topics that we mentioned this week today, like 5 minutes ago. We may just have to change the wording on that episode to this time 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this time last week's. No,
That's
that
right.
doesn't work. All right. Yeah, that works. I'm excited to come back in 2 weeks. I want to make sure we have a topic about Disney. Would love to recap that. Maybe even a special
that's a good
guest.
idea.
Maybe we pull. Actually, she commented in the chat saying she was eating a hamburger earlier. Not the Twitch chat, so that's why we didn't see it come up.
Oh, got it.
One of these days, we'll get a chat to pop up on here, and we'll be able to talk to it. But
It'll work.
today was not that day. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in for episode 1. I had fun. And I'm excited for episode 2 and 3. And then maybe this will just fizzle out by episode 5, and we won't ever do it again.
Maybe we'll just figure something else to enjoy.
To waste our time on. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye. 'Twas fun.